On March 7th, 1926, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a baby girl was born named Cleo Gleekle. But very soon she became Lois Betty Cooper when she was adopted by Fanny and Charles Cooper, her parents. And look what they got. Pretty cute, already sure of herself and provocative. She had a sister, and together they lived a typical Minneapolis childhood. Lois was already interested in art and her beloved lakes. Lakes she would swim across like Lake Harriet, Lake of the Isles, and Lake Calhoun. And she had friends and good times and weather. She always talked about walking 5 miles to school in the rain, the sleet, and the snow. And speaking of school, you could see art was in her blood, even in early school work. She was still cute, doing normal kid things with her friends and family, and apparently a pony. And there were still those lakes. She made it to her confirmation, after which she blossomed and became not cute anymore, but beautiful. And those lakes. She was the reigning snow queen at the St. Paul Winter Carnival. And in 1944, she graduated from Washburn High School. Lois was in the newspaper a few times. And at college, she had lots of friends. She joined a sorority and had even more girlfriends and boyfriends. There were lots of boys, and then one special boy, Maurice Harrison, Maury. And they got pinned. And what does any good college girl do but practice writing her name and initials in her notebook, hoping that special boy pops the question. I'll give you my heart. And then she graduated from the University of Minnesota. And it's a good thing she did practice, because he popped the question. And off they went on their honeymoon. She even signed a modeling contract, but in those days, her husband had to sign it too. Mona Lisa, men have named you. And soon, there was a baby boy and a baby girl, and Lois became a mom, a role she loved. Eventually, she and the kids moved to Hollywood. Okay, West Hollywood. Swimming pools, movie stars, and a tiny apartment on Laurel Avenue. She did technical drawing for medical supply catalogs. Bet that was fun. She started her own ceramic business, and she designed dresses, one of which led her to meet a man. No, not Humphrey Bogart, the other guy. One Lloyd Lawrence Sloan, Larry. And there was dating and courting and some modeling and a trip to Santa Barbara and romance and fun and a house in a canyon and then a baby, a pretty cute kid, and family. Then there was the fire, which brought Lois and the kids to Norton Avenue and the start of her hippie days. Then she was surprised and thrilled to find out that she was going to have her own one-woman show on La Cienega Boulevard at the Heritage Gallery. She was reviewed in the Los Angeles Times, and the show was great. She had a few shows, actually. She started out working in clay, doing busts of family and friends. Eventually, she was commissioned to sculpt some very prominent figures. Not long after, she found stone carving, and boy did she take to it. She loved letting a piece of stone tell her what it wanted to be, and she listened and brought it to life. She had many of her biggest pieces in several prestigious hotels around town. And joined a rather famous group of artists. But she still lived her life, always with family and friends around. And men. Lots of cards and letters and poems from men. And her elegance, those flowers. She must have had one for every outfit. That's when she decided to travel. She went to France and Italy. She trekked to Carrara, where she bought 1 ton of marble and shipped it back. She had to see the David, and she stopped at Henry Moore's house, but he wasn't home. She even brought back olive twigs as mementos of her wonderful time. She sailed back on the SS France, coming home to Norton Avenue, where she taught classes in both clay and stone. She loved teaching and loved her students, of whom she was so proud. And always friends and family, and butterflies. Lois and her butterflies. She used to tell everyone that they landed on her. No one believed her. Well, maybe it was true. And there were birthdays. One special big surprise one, with her closest friends and family, all celebrating the love and friendship and life they shared over years and decades, while eating and drinking and having a blast. But then she had a thought. Even though I love my friends and family so much, it's time to move. And we lost her to Washington. Snag Island, to be exact, where she again had lakes and now a mountain that she loved in any weather. She loved Seattle, too. She started bowling.
You are doing it too? You're terrible.
And she won all sorts of pins and trophies and patches. And she practiced. And she did her homework. And she practiced.
Come on. Yeah! Woo! Okay.
She was a card-carrying member of the 600 Club. But even though she started a new life, she didn't stop doing the things she loved, like jigsaw puzzles, preferably wooden. Knitting. She was never not knitting. This is just a fraction of her life's work. Poker. She discovered Indian casinos. And she kept sculpting. And teaching, even working with kids. And reading, especially on her Kindle. And playing piano. And if you knew Lois at all, you knew she had some Loisisms, like, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor one. Comes the revolution. This is to die for. Pick me out a Cadillac. It didn't just get up and walk away. There's a light in the window. Smell the night-blooming jasmine. What are you waiting for, an engraved invitation? The point is, you're just not happy till you do it to me. It's under the piano. If there's anything I can't stand, it's a sneak, a cheat, and a liar. And then there were her animals. I think she loved them more than she loved her family.
And this is a wild boar.
Wild boar.
This is a wild boar.
Lois has tamed
This one.
Lois the boar.
Wild boar.
Wild boar. It's hard to tell the two of them apart.
But, you know.
That's right.
And her hummingbirds, and her squirrels, and her ducks. She even invented a dog ramp called Puppy Up.
What are we here celebrating today?
Lois' birthday.
To us for a wonderful Thanksgiving.
That's right.
To the next year.
To the next year.
But through the years, there were a few martinis and some Bloody Marys and her friends and family. That's what mattered most.
But you got to have friends. The feelings are so strong. You got to have friends to make that day last long. I had some friends, but they're gone. Something came and took them away, and from the dusk till the dawn, here is where I'll stay. Standing at the end of the road, boys, waiting for my new friends to come. I don't care if I'm hungry or cold. I'm gonna give me some of them, 'cause you got to have friends.
You see my hand? Okay. It has to turn over more. And of course, then there's this piece. We're going to polish these little round forms here. They're going to be polished.
Okay.
Like that. Thank you very much, everybody.